time and place, bro.
Well, welcome family and friends as we gather here today to celebrate the life of Craig Uren. Your presence here today means more than words can say. My name is Sharon Payne. It is my privilege to have been asked to lead Craig's service here this afternoon. And as we start, may I please ask that you just make sure that your cell phones are turned off or please place on silent. At the conclusion of Craig's service, you are warmly invited to stay here and join the family in refreshments and a chance for you all to share your stories and memories of Craig with each other. At this time, Craig will then take his final journey for a private cremation. We are here today not just to say goodbye, but to celebrate. To celebrate a man who worked hard, who loved deeply and gave everything he had to the people around him. A man who was quiet in his strength, steady in his loyalty and generous to his very core. And Craig passed away peacefully at home on the 10th of April, held in the arms of his devoted and loving wife Diane, which is exactly how he lived, surrounded by love and giving it right back. And so today is for him. And Craig is the much loved and devoted husband of Diane, his partner, his person, his greatest love. He is the adored father and dad to Bree, James, Kerry, Hayley, Brooke, Mitch and Blake, each one a source of enormous pride. A proud, besotted pop of Grayson and Lucy, and those grandchildren lit him up like nothing else. He is the son of Anne and Brian, and the stepson of Bruce and Vivian, and big brother of Brett. He is loved and remembered by his wider family, his lifelong mates, his workmates, and all those who are fortunate enough to have had known him. Now, Craig was born on the 21st of July of 1972 to Anne and Brian, and growing up here in Kaitangata, a tight-knit community where family was everything. He was lucky enough to grow up close to his grandparents, Nan and George, and those memories that he made with them stayed with him throughout his life. Aunts and uncles and cousins were nearby too, and those family gatherings were a big part of who Craig would become. Now, Craig started out at Kaitangata Play Centre, where he met a wee boy named Warren Smith, and a friendship that would last a lifetime. Was then on to Kai Primary School and then South Otago High School. And when his parents separated, Craig and his brother moved to Waka to be with his mum and stepfather Bruce. And when Anne and Bruce eventually headed to Auckland for work, Craig went to live with his father at Kaka Point. His first jobs were classic ones, sweeping floors as a broom boy at King's Engineering after school, and spending school holidays driving tractors down at Kaka Point for Alan Lyle. And you could say Craig was never afraid of a day's hard work, and that would never change. On finishing school, Craig headed to the freezing works, starting out as a labourer before working his way up to become a butcherer. He stayed for 7 years in a grounding that gave him a work ethic that would define him throughout his career. And it would be during the off-season that he'd head away to Leishman to spend some time with his mother and his brother before taking on a casual role with CCMP in 1990. They clearly saw what Craig was made of and would offer him a full-time employment in 1999, and he stayed with them until 2014, where he is still extremely missed by all the clients and the staff. Now, from a trade assistant to a labourer, he would eventually become a dairy technician, and Craig built and maintained dairy sheds across the region, earning his electrical certificate and a string of many other qualifications along the way. And he was, without question, a man of all trades. Now, for the last 12 years, Craig has worked with Nins right until his illness made him step back. He gave that work everything he had, just as he gave everything to everyone that he loved. Now, Craig met Diane through a mutual friend, and they began dating in 2000. And Diane would make the move down here to Kaitangata in March of 2001. And with her came her son Kerry and daughter Hayley, who Craig welcomed them both as his own without even a second thought. And there was a family story that if Craig and Diane weren't married within 3 years, it simply wasn't going to happen. Well, it did happen. Craig picked the date, and on the 15th of March of 2003, these two were married at his dad's home. A proper Craig move, decided, done, and done right. Daughter Bree arrived in 2005, followed by son James in 2008. And the years that followed were filled with the beautiful busyness of family life, the school events of prize-giving, sports days and sidelines. And Craig was the dad on the touchline at football, rugby and hockey. He was there, and he was enormously proud of all of the kids. Both Bree and James have gone on to attend university. Kerry and Hayley have both travelled overseas and settled down. Kerry now in Australia, and Hayley opening her own salon in Queenstown. But one moment that brings the biggest smile is the day that Craig drove Bree to her school formal in the Mark III Zephyr. And just as they got to the entrance, it stalled. Of course it did, but they arrived, and that's what mattered. In 2017, the family travelled to the Gold Coast for Kerry's wedding on the 28th of October. A trip and a milestone that Craig wouldn't have missed for the world. And then came those grandchildren, Grayson and Lucy. Craig was, as anyone who saw him with those will tell you, as proud as punch. Pop was a role that he was made for, and those little ones had him wrapped around their fingers, and he wouldn't have it any other way. Now, if you ask Craig to describe himself, he'd tell you straight, I'm awesome, and honestly, he wasn't wrong. If Craig liked you, he liked you, and you knew it. He'd go that extra mile for anyone without thinking twice about it. He was loyal to the bone, he was hardworking and honest, and with a big heart, he didn't always advertise, but always used. He was one of a kind, with a sense of humour that crept up on you when you least expected it. And his hobbies will tell you a lot about who he is. He loved to duck shooting, a good crime novel, or even a random one. He wasn't fussy. He loved following the Kai rugby team and enjoying the social side that came with it. He was a collector of potato heads. He was a good speller, they say, but his handwriting was something else entirely. And when the kids were young, it was the beach trips and the camping, relaxed, uncomplicated fun. And that was Craig's kind of holiday. That was Craig's kind of life. Now, it must be said though, Craig never quite finished a single job at his home. Not one, but true to form, he's left Diane a list, a very specific list. Fix the platform, look at the pulsators, check the cup removers. Always thinking about the cow shed right to the end, but we're really not too sure whose cow shed he's actually talking about. So if there's anyone out there that needs those looked at, Di's got the list. But that was Craig though, never idle, always planning the next thing, even when he didn't finish it himself. And when Craig received his diagnosis, he did what Craig always did. He kept going. He continued to work for as long as he possibly could. And Liam, the apprentice as he called him, would pick him up so that he could continue being there, still contributing and still being part of it all. And that says everything about the man he is. And as time went on, Craig began to slow down and something quietly shifted. He turned his attention to what was most important. Following what the kids were up to, watching them and being present. The man who'd spent a lifetime working hard and providing for his family found himself simply loving being with them. And that was a gift for him and also them. Craig was also fortunate enough to be at home throughout his illness in his own space, surrounded by the people and the life that he had built. And there is something deeply quite right about that. He faced everything with the same quiet dignity that he brought to everything else. And sadly, as Craig's health began to decline, and he passed peacefully at home, surrounded by the love of his family, held close, as he always was, by the people who meant the world to him. And I'm going to invite those closest to Craig to come and say a few words. And I'd first like to invite Diane, his beautiful wife, to come and share her words, and then James and Bree will talk.
Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for coming here today. I know some of you have travelled quite a distance and it is very, very much appreciated. I wasn't sure where to start. Everyone knows that I'm quite a verbal person, but I'm no good at putting pen to paper. I totally suck at it, so apologies in advance for any shit that comes out my mouth, okay? I realised today would be the last opportunity to support my husband Craig. So I'm speaking to you, speaking for the both of us. 3 years ago we had the shittest task of having to tell those closest to us that Craig had a terminal illness. One of those friends said, "You can fight this, mate." Craig gave him a cheeky grin. No, my answer was, "He won't have to. I've got enough fight for the both of us." And so it all began. From that day, we got down to business and we started fighting that. So I'm sorry, I might say it out loud in here. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Craig didn't want to dwell on that, so instead he got on with life, quietly acknowledging each day was a bonus. We were so privileged to have a team of superstars alongside us. Firstly, our kids were truly amazing. Seriously, you can't leave two teenagers at home for several weeks and expect your house to still be standing. But they did. Chris and Michelle, Claire, and all our Warrens, we've got like 3 of them. In our life, Mum and Dad, Premier and Martin, my wee ray of sunshine, you know who you are, as well as numerous friends, family members and work colleagues. You all have such different personalities. Each and every one of you was exactly who we needed in our lives. No words could ever describe how much we love and appreciate you all. It's such an honour to have you in our lives. Young Liam, I don't know where young Liam's hiding, but young Liam, Craig would light up when he spoke about you, and he really wanted you to know he was extremely proud to be able to call you his apprentice. You were his right-hand man, and affectionately known as the other son in our home. So thank you, we are very grateful to you. This is a little special shout out to our youngest son, James. Thank you for propping me up when I needed it, for being the greatest supporter, for being there when Dad and I needed it the most. You blew us away with your maturity, calmness. You're an amazing young man. It's okay, Greg, because you're still the favourite. I actually spent hours specifying exactly what we loved about each and every one of you. But I thought you'd all cry like babies, so we'll just catch us all up later and have those words. Craig, this one's for you. I love you too much to forget. I miss you. I miss talking to you. I miss the way you held me, like nothing in the world could ever break me. I miss hearing you say you love me, like it was the safest truth I'd ever known. I keep thinking maybe I could have done more, loved you louder, held you tighter, stayed longer in every single moment we had. I hope you knew. I hope you knew in every second we shared how deeply I loved you. Because if there's one thing that will hold me forever, it's wondering if you truly understood how much of my soul belonged to you. You used to say if something ever happened to me, promise me you'll go on with life. I hated hearing that. Told you to stop. Because to me, there was no life without you. You were it. You were my always. And now you're gone. But no matter where you are, no matter how much time passes, you will not be forgotten. You never will be. No matter what this world asks of me, it will always be yours. Only you. Searching my night in the shiny blue Congo. I got to love you and be loved by you for over 25 years. We got to create a beautiful family. I made wonderful memories along the way. Drive safe. See you when I get there. Love you forever and always.
Greatest people in my life. He never failed to show how proud he was of James time. He was the guy you could always count on to be at the sidelines of your sports games, but whether he was there to talk garbage with my mates or actually watch me play is still something I'm trying to figure out. Either way, he made the time to show up. He never failed to put a smile on your face with a great sense of humour. He would tell you he's the funniest guy out, but his main aim was asking you to pull his finger. My dad loved music, and I have him to thank for my music taste. Because of him, I politely declined even connecting to the speaker around my friends, as his taste never changed with his age. He took it's an oldie but a goodie a little too seriously. My favourite memories with Dad include our drives in the Commodore with Heartbreaking by Prelude always the price to pay, and cupping up on the couch to watch our favourite shows together.
Most notably, one being Finding Bigfoot on the Discovery Channel. Why Dad and I watched a show about Bigfoot for so long is a question I can't answer, but the memories were made. I can also never forget my Year 12 formal, next to pull up to get out for photos, and Dad stills the zipper, while I sat in the back with the face of thunder, keeping my mouth shut. He of course had the biggest smirk on his face. That smirk would always make me crack a smile, even when I was trying my best to stay mad. I never miss an opportunity to talk about how great my dad is. He was proud, hardworking, caring, and always, and put all his heart,
Put all his heart into those he loved. I was always a daddy's girl growing up, and I carried that proudly, although many would say I was more daddy's little drama queen more than anything. I know you'll always watch over me and look after me. I will continue to make you proud, Dad. I love you endlessly.
I'm reading something on behalf of Karina and Martin Pepper, right? Yeah. Thank you for letting a lot of your family and friends be a part of this journey with Craig and his wee family. We all feel very privileged. Christmas Day was very special. The road trip up to Christchurch to see the new year with Alec and Myra, where Craig asked Myra for the phone number so he could ring if he got too much for Di. Then the road trip down south, which Craig could show us every cowshed he worked on. In each pub, we would stop and Craig would buy a beer, but poor Diane had to drink them. Craig had a great sense of humour, and with that, he would wind Di up. I would like to take this opportunity to say what an amazing, loving, caring wee family Craig has. With James, you have walked this journey with Mum and Dad each and every day. You are truly amazing. Bree, you were your dad's world, the apple of his eyes, keep being you. Kerry and Haley, he was very proud of you guys, and he would talk about his wee family of 4, and then to top it off, being a pop of his 2 grandbabies. Well, to all the ones that had been there, the dying Craig over the past 3 years, knew he had promised lists which Di had to fulfill, and what a road she has had. Craig wished to be home, which was a no-brainer for Di, and no other woman to shower or bed wash him, lol. We said maybe it would be a male to wash him. The look he gave us was priceless. But he must have same diamond for Diane. Di, well, what can we say? You are a truly inspirational woman. The care and dedication you have showed for the past 3 years is astonishing. The love, grace you showed, same words that come to mind, steadfast, loyal, especially nurturing, dedicated and/or protector, devoted, selfless, and the list can go on and on. The long nights holding your man's hand so he knew you were there. The talking he knew your heart was broken. I would just like to say you are a brave, inspiring woman. Rest in peace, Craig. Pain is gone. Fly high. Say hi. Say hi to all that passed before. Party hard. You truly deserve it.
Now, I'd also like to welcome up the following tributes and memories that are going to be shared of Craig. We'll firstly hear from Uren Smith, Craig's lifelong friend and has known him since those early Kaitangata placing days, followed by Stuart Kay, a friend from the Awaka days. Representative Donna Jenkins, though, from NIMS Dairy Services, and then we will hear finally from Wayne Gibbons, a respected colleague and friend.
Firstly, my condolences to Craig's immediate family and extended family. On this day, and those of you that don't know me, I'm Uren Smith. I was Lou's mate, one of his mates. He had lots of mates. And I've put together here my version of Lou. We went through play centre and school together. Excuse me, bear with me, it's a bit overwhelming all this. He was a quiet, giggling friend all the way through school and very witty and quite intelligent. He helped support me when my mother passed. Here's a few memories. Tying empty coke cans to the RC George Beck's car at Clyde Primary School. And running like fucking wind down the gully to get away from it before she'd seen it. And snooping around the old movie theatre in Kai. That was kind of like it was a flat of tin we could get through on one side of it. It was down by the program. It's gone now. It's been gone for years. This was the early 80s. And we'd get in there and snoop around, and it was dark. It was an old car in the seat, in the aisle of the seats, and the old movie camera was still there with old film reels and old 1960s posters for the movies and all kinds of different things. And it had a vibe of being haunted. And this old man called Old Hongy used to own it. And we used to hear him turn up in his car every now and then, so we'd run by the flat of tin so we could get away fast. But this one day, the old bugger, he walked down and he slammed the bloody doors open and said, "I know you're in there, you little bastards," and we all run like shithouse rats all over the show. So I'll never forget that with Prelude. There was 6 to 8 of us doing that, so that was one of the bloody memories. About 1986, I was about 14 years old and I was sleeping in on a Saturday morning. Nana Smith was looking after my sister and I, and Dad was working at the Chambers on a Saturday morning. And I woke up to one hell of a bloody commotion. And Nana Smith came flying in through my bedroom door, and she was yelling out something, her false teeth hit the floor, and I just about shit the bed. And I looked over at the window, and there was Clue giggling like a chipmunk at the window. He lit up a card of Tom Thumb firecrackers and threw them into my bedroom to wake me up. So yeah, that was Clue. That was him down to a T. Constantly fishing at the locks, somewhere in the river. Then later on he moved to Awaka, and he introduced us to a new bunch of bloody subculture jokers from Misfits from Awaka, and we're still good mates with them today. They come down and play rugby with us for a while too. He was the type of mate you didn't have to see for years, but when you caught up with him, nothing had changed. He was a solid, consistent mate. Once your mate, always your mate. I worked up on the scoreboard with Clue in the early 90s. When he was a guppy, he was always laughing and happy. I moved back to Clyde from Blenheim in 2002ish and moved into a house up Market Street where Clue and his new girlfriend lived across the road. So I had nothing from a flat, and they had a shed full of stuff, and they were good enough to give it to me from my first flat back in Guy. And I saw him every now and then over the years to follow with a warm understanding, like a warm mutual understanding of how busy life gets, you know. And at the same time, I obviously met Di, there was Kerry and Harley, 2 more shitheads to add to the list. I call all these kids shitheads, it's easier to remember than remembering their names. Right, I was at the Dunedin Hospital in the ICU room visiting Clue not long before his first operation. The doctors weren't sure if he was going, how he would handle it. And Clou asked me, "Can you do me a favour, mate? Can you take my daughter to the snob in New Zealand? I'm not going along with him after New Zealand." And then boom, this is big. That was a big question. We all knew it, that was in the room, and it was big. We had a pumpkin that needed changed into a stagecoach for Cinderella to get to a ball. So I shook his hand and said, "Yep, and you're coming with us." So Lena and I, my partner and I, we moved heaven and earth to find a wizard to get this Mark III up to scratch, and we done it. And we took his daughter to the ball, and Clou was sitting beside me in the front seat of the Mark III. So Cinderella got to the ball. Mission accomplished. It's been heartbreaking watching Clou deteriorate over the years, and with it his dreams of an ideal life have done the same. Clou, you're forever tattooed into my soul. I'll see you when I'm looking back again. Thanks.
Before we start, I'm standing out the rain out there. You see that? It's smooth. Fantastic. Right, so those who don't know me, I'm Stuart. I've known Clou for 40 odd years. Right, first of all, I'd like you all that have come in today and to celebrate Clou's life. And those that couldn't make it and but taking the time to watch the live stream, I think as well. While I sat in a chair in the sun writing all this, I find myself shedding a tear or two and then have a wee giggle to myself as I think of something we got up to or something that was said. Growing up in a small rural town of Waka, a handful of kids to hang out with, the news of a new kid in town didn't go unheard by many, and if I remember rightly, it was Paige that told me. So thank you, Paige. We met ripe old age of 13 or 14, and we hit it off straight away, and that was it. Where he went, I went, and vice versa. His mum became my mum, and mine became his. As the years went on, we met different people, but we always knew that we had each other's back no matter what. After a while, we found two more boys to knock around with, Booger and Blake. And that was it. We all hit it off straight away, let the fun begin. And fun we had. I'll leave the rest to your own imagination. In our late teens, we had some fun, just the four of us. We laughed at each other, mainly my expense. We cried as we shared local tragedies. But we were always together. Over the last few days, I've been trying to think of something to share with you all, but there's too many memories, and we haven't got a day. Plus, mum and dad here, so I'll keep those as mine and ours. In our 20s, life carried on the same, always up to something, a little bit wiser, just not getting caught. Over the years, we all went our own way, but always made the time to talk, catch up, and when we did, nothing had changed apart from the day. It was like we were hanging out yesterday. Time moved on, and it was time to start our own families, including Ty. I don't know if she was punishing herself or just thinking this guy will do. But Carol, good choice. I started my own family. When my son came along, there was no second thoughts in my mind. Phil and I, they were his godparents. Because I knew without a doubt that by any chance anything happened to me, we would take him in and treat him like his own. For that guy. It was always a standing joke between us four boys, me, Booger, Clue, Blake. Clue was our Mr. Sensible. He often made us take it in the moment. Not that we listened, we'd stop, we'd laugh, we'd carry on and find out he was wrong. But that's just how it was. Di, Hayley, Kerry, Bree, James, Mum, Bruce, Dad, Viv, Brett. I'm sure you'll all agree that you were all blessed and privileged to call me son, brother, husband, and most of all your dad. As I know within myself, I was, and I'll be forever grateful to call my friend. Brother, I got to choose. Rest in peace, Mr. Sensible. We love you, Carrington.
Don't know us. This is Lansell, the apprentice, as Craig called him, and I'm Donna Jenkins. Today I've asked Donna to read this on my behalf. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nigel McClaymont, Managing Director of Nun Dairy Services. Although I'm unable to be there in person, I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to share a few words about Craig and his time with us. From the moment Craig joined our team in 2014, it was clear we had brought on someone with not only extensive knowledge of the dairy industry, but also the practical skill to back it up. He quickly became evident just how well respected he was. Many clients chose to follow Craig to Nind, which speaks volumes about the trust and confidence people had in him. My earliest impressions of Craig were of a man with old school values. He called things as he saw them. A spade was a spade. He wasn't one for idle chat. He simply wanted to get on with the job and put in an honest day's work. That approach meant he always had the client's best interests at heart. And while Craig might have ruffled a few feathers from time to time, it was never out of malice, only from a place of honesty and good intention. Over the years, the Balclutha branches become smaller as team members moved on. But Craig, along with Donna and Liam, remain a strong and close-knit unit. They consistently and loyalty helped hold things together more than words can fully express. Craig was someone you could always rely on. He showed up day after day, really taking time off. He was also a great teacher, always willing to pass on his knowledge and help others grow. Even when faced with illness, he continued to push himself to be there, and that determination is something I have immense respect for. On behalf of myself and the entire Nind Dairy Services team, I want to extend our deepest condolences to Diane and Craig's family. Please know that Craig was truly valued and he will never be forgotten. Thank you. Well, mate, no more nagging from the old books, Craig. Hope you've done your time sheets. There's no parts on this bloody job. Rest easy. We're going to miss you, mate. I'm reading this on behalf of Lee. I've worked with Craig, or who you know, most of you know as Clue, for the last 6 or 7 years. Craig, thanks for everything you have taught me in the dairy industry, but also other aspects of life. We have had a lot of fun times over the years, but especially the last 2 years we've spent together with you being unable to drive. At times I didn't mind your memory had slipped because the yarns you told me would crack me up every time I heard them. You are going to be really missed, which was obvious when I let our clients know of your passing, from Omakau all the way to Matara. Rest in peace, mate.
I'm Wayne and I work with for the Shade Mesh for a number of years, and my condolences to Di and the family. I got a text from Di on Sunday and I didn't know it really cropped up anyway. Here we are. It's probably the only time that Clue won't get the last word. Well, I hope he doesn't, anyway. But Clue and I go back a long way. When I walked in the Chain Mesh and we started working together, I could tell very well that he was just one of those guys that you like immediately. He was cheeky, had an opinion about everything, and sometimes not always right, but it was a lot of fun. And even at the back, there's like a Chain Mesh reunion at the back there. There's quite a few that I see all the boys. It's good to see them. They're looking old, you know, but then I looked over, I'm looking pretty old too. But Claire and I, we started out machine testing, and then we got into installing plants. We were the first the second team that came along, and become pretty sure that we needed some more guys, and so some more guys came in and became the engineers and the fitters. They called us the plant girls. So Clue came up with the name, we then called them the Rock Apes, and he reckoned one day he was going to walk through the workshop with a banana and a bit of string to send you rock apes you could catch. That's Clue. One of his other favourite pastimes was going over to Morgan O'Shea across the road. It was proper engineers apparently, and he would wander in there and give them a bit of a wind up. And they'd say to him, "Oh, you've come to see what engineers can actually do." He goes, "Yeah, probably have. You know what? I'll probably get paid more than you anyway, so who cares?" And off he'd go. That was his wit. A few stories when we were out installing. Sometimes it was long days. We did a lot of sheets all over the place. Maniatoa, Gawler, everywhere. We were quite busy, had quite a crew. The times that we spent at Smoko and lunch were the best times. Clue would always enlighten everybody with stories, opinions. Sometimes, I think half it was made up, but yeah, it was amazing. And two things you knew about Clue, working with him so closely, that he cared about his family so much. We always talked about dying the kids and his grandparents. He was always very, very talking about his grandparents, the time he had growing up. And also the second thing he talked about a lot was about being from Kai. Living in Kai, Kai was everything, you know, and I'm sure that, you know, he would just love to get back here all the time, and he was very passionate about Kai, and it was a pleasure to work with him. One last story that I remember, there's so many memories of him working with him, was we'd moved workshops, the place had got bigger, we moved to the back of where Wrightson's was on the main street, we had a workshop there. The office came there with the showroom and stuff, and one of the dealer Val reps was coming down to do some of what he was doing anyway. We thought we wanted to get him. We just had to play a trick on him. So Mary had a pink scooter that she used to ride at the workshop, and it was a pride and joy. No one was about to touch it. So we thought, right, we'll get this taken. So what we did is as he was coming, I saw him coming, and I sort of winked to Clue. He sort of aware what I was trying to do. And I said to him, "Oh, how you going, mate?" He says, "What are you going to scooter?" He says, "Oh, it's pretty flash. Can I have a ride on it?" And I go, yeah, of course. But I had to get Clue into the story to do that. And so Clue wised up to it, and the storeman was at the back of the workshop, and he yells out, "Hey, can you ride the scooter?" The storeman couldn't hear what we were talking about, but we were sort of gesturing with our hands, and one thing led to another. We got this rep on the scooter, and he was just riding around the workshop. And we suggested that he goes out to the car park. where Mary could see him. And so off he went. He said, do a few wheelies. He doesn't mind, just do it, do a few. And he was doing wheelies out in the car park. Well, Mary saw this, hit the roof, come charging out into the car park where he was with the scooter, and she ripped them up. And she said to us, did you not know? And the police says, I told him not to ride it. Until the blue had the last word. So with that, I just want to say it was a pleasure to work with him. He was an amazing man. He just was one of those guys that if you went on a job and it turned to shit, Flew was the one that would actually help you get it back right. He was just one of those guys. He would stay to the end and he would work. Yeah. So rest in peace, mate. God bless.
Well, thank you everyone for sharing your words today, and I'm sure that when you have a cuppa very soon, there are going to be plenty more stories and memories shared together. They say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. When it comes to Craig, every single one of them would be filled with hard work, laughter and love. In a moment, we're going to take some time to look back through the chapter of Craig's life, captured in the moments that matter most. You'll see him as a boy growing up here in Kaitangata with his family close by. You'll see him as the young man who worked hard and built life from the ground up. You will see the husband, the dad on the sideline, the pop with those big proud smiles, and the man in his element. Out duck shooting or deep in a crime novel, or surrounded by the people that he loved most. And these photos are a reminder of just how fully Craig's life lived, of the quiet, steady, wonderful man he was, and everything he meant to every single person here in the room. Sit back and take a breath and let yourself smile, because that's exactly what Craig would want.
I sit and wait. Does an angel contemplate my fate? Do they know the places where we go when we're gray and old? 'Cause I have been told that salvation lets their wings unfold. So when I'm lying in my bed, thoughts running through my head, and I feel that love is dead, I'm loving angels instead. And through it, oh, she offers me protection, a lot of love and affection, whether I'm right or wrong, and down the waterfall, wherever it may take me, that life won't break me. When I come to call, she won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead. When I'm feeling weak and my pain walks down a one-way street, I look above, and I know I'll always be blessed with love. And as the feeling grows, she breathes flesh to my bones. Oh, when love is dead, I'm loving angels instead. And through it, she offers me protection, a lot of love and affection, whether I'm right or wrong, and down the waterfall, wherever it may take me, I know that life won't break me. When I come to call, she won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead. Forsake me. I'm loving angels instead.
Oh, why you look so sad? Tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through. 'Cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know what to do. Nothing you confess could make me love you less. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. So, if you're mad, get mad. Don't hold it all inside. Come on and talk to me now. Hey, what you got to hide? I get angry too. Well, I'm alive like you. When you're standing at the crossroads and don't know which path to choose, let me come along. Even if you're wrong, I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you.
On behalf of Diane and the family, I want to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today. Your presence, your love and your support means more to the world, to this family at this incredibly difficult time. To those who have travelled to be here with us and to those who have sent messages of love and condolences. A very special and sincere thank you goes out to hospice, the district nurses, the Catlins Medical Centre and the wider medical team for their extraordinary care and support given to Craig throughout his illness. Your kindness and dedication to Craig and to his family will never be forgotten. And a very special thank you goes out to the exceptional friends who have been there every step along the way, for the care, for the support and for the love that you have all shown. Words are simply not enough, but please know it means absolutely everything to Craig's family and it will be carried in our hearts always. Now those who knew and loved Craig could describe him in so many ways, and they did. He was loyal, hard-working, honest, funny, generous and one of a kind. And every single one of these words is true, and not one of them is enough on its own, because Craig was all of them, all together at once, every single day. He had a big heart and he used it. He would go the extra mile for anyone without a second thought. And if he liked you, he liked you. And you were lucky because Craig's loyalty was absolutely everything. He was a devoted husband to Diane, an adored dad, a pop, a brother and a mate, and he was exceptional at every single one of these because he gave himself to the people he loved so generously and without reservation. The world is a quieter place without him, but the love he gave, that doesn't go anywhere. It lives on in every single person here in this room, lives on in those small, ordinary moments that he was part of. Craig will be deeply missed and forever loved and always held close. So we say thank you. Thank you, Craig. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for the love. Thank you for showing up day after day in all the ways that mattered. Craig, you were the rock, the steady one. You can rest now knowing that you did it well and that you were loved beyond words and measure for always. And family and friends, may I ask you please be upstanding for our words of the Lord. You came today not only in sadness, but in celebration of a man who gave so much to the world himself, that was loved beyond my measure by everyone gathered here. And love doesn't end with dying or leave with your last breath. For someone you've loved so dearly, love goes on forever. And when we lose someone we love, it seems that time stands still. And what moves through us is a silence. It's a quiet sadness. It's a longing for one more day, for one more word, for one more moment. And we may not understand, but little by little we begin to remember not just that Craig is gone, but that he lived, and he lived life fully. A life of hard work and fierce love, of loyalty and honesty, of showing up for the people he adored, of a big heart that he never made a fuss about, but he used every single day. And a life lived with such quiet strength and such an open heart. Craig gave everything of himself to the people that he held dear, and now, as we say goodbye to him, we carry that love with us, because love like his doesn't end, it simply finds a new place to live. Now you're gone, Craig, we release you, and in letting you go, there is so much gratitude for every moment that we were lucky enough to have had you in our lives, for the hard work and the steady hands, for the loyalty that never wavered, for the humour that crept up unexpected, and for loving Diane and your children and those grandchildren with absolutely everything you had. Craig, he didn't say much about love, he just showed it. In the early starts of the long days, and the sidelines of the school runs, and the way he showed up, quietly, faithfully, every time. He wore his life in his hands, calloused and capable, in the hands of a man who built things and fixed things and never left a job undone. Well, almost never. There is still that list. He loved the people in his life, the way he worked without fanfare, without fuss, just steadily, completely, until the very end. Go gently now, Craig. Your work here is done, and we'll carry the list and will carry you always. Craig, in grief at your death, but in gratitude for your life and the privilege of having known exactly who you are, we now release you. Rest now, Craig, at the end of your days, your work here is done. Rest in the hearts and the minds of all you've loved. If you who knew Craig can carry forward his loyalty, if you can show up for one another as he always did, if you can work hard and love honestly as he also did, then this will give continued purpose to Craig's life and be a living memorial to him. May you all find comfort and strength and warmth in your memories of him. May you find support in your love with one another, and may you always carry him with you gently and always.
Pallbearers, please. Yeah.